There. Yep. Okay, everybody. Good morning again. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, welcome back to Fearless Dialogues. And so I know that you all have had an amazing adventure in exploring new ideas of how you could empower not only yourself, but stand alongside those in your communities that have tasked you to share your wisdom. We started on Thursday thinking about how we might attune our senses such that we might see those who are invisible and hear those who are screaming from the shadows seeking to be heard. We were mindful of what Country Dark might teach us. And we even went through a journey with Tavares to begin to see how creation is right at our fingertips. And so today, we take that same progression. Some of you all were in the Fearless Dialogues workshop on yesterday, and they focused on how we might see those who are invisible. And you may remember that during our presentation, we said that our work is built on three pillars: see, hear, change. If you can't see the person that is before you as worthy of respect, it's not possible for you to hear their story as valuable, as something that they might be able to teach you. And without those prerequisites of seeing and hearing, then we can't move proactively towards change. And so today, we will focus on the process of hearing and projecting forward on how we, as a community of educators, can create seismic-like ripples of change. But before we do that, remember I said this is Fearless Dialogues, it's not Fearless Monologues. So you all are going to be very vital to the success of our time together. So we need 5 volunteers. 5 volunteers. 5 volunteers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, come on up. 3. We got 3. In the back, 4, 5. Come on up, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everybody. So we call this a welcome without words, right? We'll actually use a couple of words, but everybody, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, my dear friend, educator, activist, professional cellist, Mr. Okori Johnson. Everybody say, what's up, Okori?
Hello, SRI. How are you all doing this morning?
Yeah. Okori, that was weak. Everybody say, what's up, Okori? Yeah.
What's up, SRI? How y'all doing? Good, good. Excited to be here this morning.
So today is going to be framed around questions. Questions, hard questions. How can we hear the stories of the people around us by paying attention to the questions? When we walked into this room, there were questions simmering. And I believe that there is wisdom in the room. Not necessarily wisdom because Okori and I have access to the mic. There is wisdom in this room. There is wisdom. There's a question that has been lingering in this room. So we call this a welcome without words. So we're going to welcome this question into the room so that it might guide us throughout our time together. So this is a 5-word question. Right? This is 5. Man, Tess got nervous. Okay. All right. It's a 5-word question. And so what we're going to do, and this question will guide us throughout our day. We don't know what this question is, but it is here in this wisdom-bearing room. We're going to ask each of you to build on the word before you, to create the question. It's all good. Don't feel stressed. You're number 2. I mean, so, you know, Tess is number 5. All right? So, of course, you will be where, what, who, when, you know. So you're going to start us. And Tess, you're going to close us out. But in this welcome without words, we're going to do it in a unique way, because we are also experiencing creation that is simmering below the surface. So as I remember your name, I know it ends with an O. It starts with a T, but the middle letters just give it to me. What Taiwo is going to share with us. She's going to share her first word, and then Akori is going to feel the energy in that word, and he will play it. And by the time we get to Tess, not only will we have a question, we will have a unique SRI song. Oh, welcome to Fearless Dialogue. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Okay, all right. Taiwo, you good? Okay. Anybody? We got markers. Markers. Okay, Taiwo, you ready? What word will start our question?
Why?
Why? Okay, Akori. Thank you. Feel the energy in the room. Why? I want you all to sit with why. Why are you here? Why are we together? Why are we fulfilling this mission during our time on earth? Why? Your name? Oh, we are in the presence of grace. Second word, grace. Why? 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 Why facilitate? What does facilitate sound like, Akori? We animate, but why facilitate? Why facilitate? Why did we come here? Why did this question call us into new understanding? Why? Why facilitate? Why facilitate in our communities? Why facilitate in our homes? Why facilitate in our schools? Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Taiwo. Oh, we're on question. Word number 3. This question is coming to life. Don't hide. You're the third person of a 5-person question. But this question represents all of us in this room. What is your name? Mercedes. Yes, Mercedes. Why facilitate? Why facilitate? Your word, Mercedes. Why facilitate intellectual, Akori? Why would we facilitate using our intellect when our hearts are calling us to a deeper place? Is there more to us than what we're taught here? Why not go down to a deeper place where the notes ring out at a different tone? Why facilitate? Was it intellect or intellectual? Why facilitate intellectual? Thank you, Mercedes. Okay, my brother, we've been waiting on you. your name. Andrew, Taiwo, Grace, and Mercedes set us up for this very special word that you have for us. Why facilitate intellectual? Why facilitate intellectual conversations? Oh man, I'm getting chilled. We're going somewhere, Corey. What is the point of only staying in our head when there's so much in our bodies, in the people that are around us that may not be lettered? Grandmas on porches. They can teach us outside of just the intellect. Why facilitate intellectual? Facilitate intellectual conversations when we can have fearless dialogue. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. That's what I'm talking about. Tess said, I'm ready. Yeah, Tess. Why facilitate intellectual conversations now? Why facilitate intellectual conversations now? Thank you all very much. You can take a seat. Keep it going, Corey. So, I was thinking about you all yesterday evening. What does it mean to gather a group of educators to think about reforming how we go about the process of learning and teaching? And I thought about a reform that happened in Georgia that led to a different type of learning. See, I went to school in the early 90s. And I recall when the lottery came to Georgia. And funds were allocated to schools based on lottery profits to improve student learning potential. Now, some schools bought computers. Some schools probably bought new microscopes and lab equipment. My school bought surveillance cameras and metal detectors. And so, as a 10th grader raised in a family of activists, I did not have the language to say how pissed off I was that we got surveillance cameras and metal detectors. But something in me was saying, don't we need to facilitate some type of conversation now? Even if it's not an intellectual one. So I wrote this piece, remembering my 10th grade questions. Every morning that we pulled into the U-shaped driveway, my eyes drifted to the barred windows. On the days when we ran late, the line snaked out the door. And at the front of the line, a standard salutation greeted each backpacker. Any drugs, contraband, or illegal substances? Not good morning. Not, hi, how are you doing today, Greg? Not, hey, let's have a great day at school. No, it's any drugs, contraband, or illegal substance. So once through the metal detector, or the randomly selected wand searching, a cheeky backpacker, one of my friends, would smile. They would eyeball the ceiling, and they would give the finger to the surveillance camera in the corner. And there we would go. We'd walk up the windowless stairwells. And once we walked up the windowless stairwells, I walked to the second floor and I found my desk. And I awaited Dr. Hill's morning announcements. But this was no ordinary day, Jason. This was no ordinary day. For starters, Troy was not asleep at his desk. See, an uncustomary tension settled in the air. Suddenly, a voice boomed over the speakers. These were no ordinary announcements about the day's lunch menu or an upcoming school assembly. There was a different voice. It had a different sound, and the words were unnerving. We are on lockdown. All teachers and students remain in your classrooms until further instruction. All of a sudden, within seconds, we heard dogs running down the hallway. One canine barked outside of the lockers, just outside of our classroom door. And before I could process the fullness of the situation, uniformed officers, come on, y'all are officers. Uniformed officers, come on, you're an officer. Uniformed officers, come on, you're an officer. Come on, you're an officer. Uniformed officers walked into our classroom. And they handcuffed a classmate. As they carried him out of the classroom, his grim eyes jolted me. The light behind his pupils dimmed. It all happened so fast. Yet somehow we were expected to return to business as usual. At that moment in 10th grade, a world I once viewed in Technicolor started to gray. And an emptiness began to fill my heart. And by my senior year, I was so acclimated to the normalized chaos that I stepped around fights en route to the cafeteria like they were nuisance puddles on the street. Fortunately, in my overcrowded school, teachers created safe havens in our classrooms for critical thinking to happen. By graduation, I had written 5 books. I'd excelled in AP courses. And I found companionship in the works of Dante and Chaucer and Du Bois and Zora Neale Hurston. And as a proud alumnus of Frederick Douglass High School, I firmly believed that I received a first-rate education. Surely, I learned as much inside the classroom as I did in the hallways, hearing the stories of my gray-eyed peers. But the gray-eyed emptiness from 10th grade, it followed me everywhere. And questions lingered. Questions lingered, educating friends. Why was Troy allowed to sleep through first period every day? We all know Troy worked at night. He sold prescription drugs. But was it easier for him to sleep through class than to receive instruction? Now, what did people see in Troy? Did they see him at all? Now, this was the question that I could not articulate at 10th grade, but it rested in me like a sour stomach? How do barred windows, morning searches, surveillance cameras, and building lockdowns prepare students for college? Or were my classmates and I being prepared for a destination that looked like the school that we were challenged to learn in? Did the taxpayers and the school system policymakers who funded this prison-like infrastructure see us as students? Did they see us at all? In your groups of 5, I want you to share among yourselves the questions that are unsettled inside of you as you think about students who are challenged to learn in situations that are not befitting of an educational environment. Let's talk. Think about students. Now, it might not be the building infrastructure. It might be students coming to school with an empty stomach. It might not be students who are hungry. It might be students who are in a classroom that they're told, you cannot study your history here because it's not in the textbook. It might not be even students in the curriculum. It might be the fact that when they go home, they don't know if their mother or their father will be there because ICE is looking for them. I want you to think about the questions that are lingering in your heart. We're moving to a place of hearing now by asking questions. What are the questions lingering in your heart? Why facilitate intellectual conversations now when there are so many other questions that we must ask? Let's talk. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's talk. What are the questions? What are the questions? Let the questions bubble up. What are the questions? What are the questions? Come on, what are the questions? What are the questions? These students are challenged to learn in spaces that may not be fitting for their optimal learning. What questions do you have? Let the questions guide us. Let us live and love the questions. So it's 11:15. It's 11:15. We're gonna have to jump right into the point. Stay on one. What are the questions? What are the questions? Let the questions guide us. What are the questions? What are the questions? Come on, we got 30 seconds. Come on, ask the questions. We don't need answers. Far too often we rush to the answers without sitting with the questions. What are the questions? What are the questions? 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Come on, what are the questions? We can learn so much if we ask the right questions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You want to chart? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time, everybody. Time. Oh, y'all want to keep talking. That's good. That's good. So let's get 5 or 6 questions. What are the questions? What are the questions? Yes, sir.
When will we start designing and operating schools that serve students rather than the comfort of teachers and staff?
So when will we start designing and operating schools that serve that serve students and not the comforts of teachers and staff? Did I get it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Your name? Dan. Thank you. Others. Come on, another question. Yes.
Suppose schools are doing what they were purposed to do.
Okay, so what if schools are doing what they're purposed to do? Okay, how might they be models for other schools? Okay, others. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's not what I meant. I meant there is a purpose for schooling in America, and that purpose for schooling is being realized whether we like that purpose or not. So it's not serving as a model. It is doing what it is purposed to do. Slavery is not illegal in the prison system. And so to design schools that you attended where you get to see, you get to experience ultimately what you are purposed to be doing, that's exactly what is happening.
What cost?
Cost to you or cost to who designed the purpose of schooling in America?
To the students who don't have the opportunity to create alternative means because the resources are lacking for them. So I'm wrestling with this question, and maybe we all need to wrestle with it. Because I went back to I went back to my high school reunion, and I still saw the greatness. I saw, 20 years later, I still saw the greatness in the eyes of my classmates. And it's something to see a 40-year-old person that looks like they're 65 because they were trained improperly. And so maybe the schools were designed for a particular purpose, but how can we see something different even in the midst of a design that is flawed, such that we might turn attention to others so that they might begin to create what I call pockets of resistance in places that are not designed for flourishing. And so let's wrestle with it. We're gonna sit there. Come on, this.
So how do we infiltrate the system? 'Cause if you're talking about, we were talking about the system is doing what it was designed to do. So how do we infiltrate the system?
So how do we infiltrate? Was there a question over here? We got time for two more. Just two more. Yes, sir.
What are the school's role and responsibility in beginning a reconciliation for our vicious history?
So how do we atone, remember, reshape schools given our history? One last question. Andrew? No. Okay. Others? Yes.
What was it that the school did for you that you are now doing this work, and how can we bring that more into our schools?
Yeah, where are the pockets of hope? So one of the things that my teachers did that I give thanks for is they taught me to ask good questions. And so now you all are in groups of five. So I'm going to ask again that you put all your notes on the floor. If you have coffee, put it on the side of you, okay? And I'm going to ask that you would move in a little bit closer to the people that are around you. Now, I'm trusting that over the past 2 days, even though you are from different places around the country, that you have had an opportunity to get to know the people that are in your groups a little bit better. So we need groups of 5. You all have 4 now? Okay, so we need groups of 5. Groups of 5. So it's 2 back here. Yeah, our friends back here need 1 person. We got groups of 5 up here. Okay. So, everybody, I didn't share this, but I will echo this again. At Fearless Dialogues, what we do is we look at spaces as laboratories of discovery, and that there are people around us who can teach us if we are able to see them more clearly and hear their stories attentively. This is an exercise in hearing. We call this the 5 hardest questions that you will face in life. Right? The 5 hardest questions that you'll face in life. And we guarantee that if you take this experience seriously, by the time you get up, you will not only understand the people around you in a different way, but you will understand yourself in a different way. So before we get started, because we're going on a journey together, there's this old woman in South Georgia. She said this to me. She said, baby, if you don't want to get old, die young. Right? And then a few minutes later, she leaned over to me and she said, the longest journey that you will take in life is the trip from your head to your heart. We're about to go on a journey. Please introduce yourself to the people in your circle. Please introduce yourself. If you don't know their names, everybody, please just say hello, hello. It's good to see you. Good morning. Hope you got your coffee. Okay, everybody. All right. So, you'll get to know each other in a deeper way. So we call this the 5 hardest questions. And this is a listening exercise. What we are asking is that every person would fear less and take courage to own your truth. We're going to ask now that everybody just hold your hands out right here, just like this. Hold them, just cup them before you. Just imagine that there is a baby bird in your hands, right? This baby bird has not yet developed his or her wings. And the baby bird is your colleague's truth. It is their most important truth that they have had the courage to share. So when they share their truth, we're not going to ask that you get a little impatient and like, oh, hurry up, and then you throw the bird. Don't throw the bird. Right? We're asking that you also have enough courage to recognize that this gentle truth is developing. And so when it gets a little tense, don't say, and drop the bird, okay? and better yet, if you don't agree with the truth of your colleague, don't get mad and go, and crush the bird. That was a little graphic, right? What we're going to ask now is that you just bring the bird in. Everybody just bring it in. They're sharing their heart, hold it close to yours. This is how this experiment works. Corey and I will ask a question. There will be 5 questions. There are 5 people in your groups. Each person will be given the opportunity to answer one question for 2 minutes. These are 5 hard questions. Matter of fact, they're the 5 hardest questions I've encountered in my life. So after each person answers, well, one person will take courage after we frame the question to answer this question for 2 minutes. I'm so sorry, right? Now, after you answer that question, we will sit in silence for 30 seconds. We will sit with the truth that has been shared, okay? And during that silent moment, we're going to ask that you would allow an open-ended question to bubble up. Not a question that's disguised as advice, right? We all have had people to say, that was so profound. Wouldn't you think it would be good for you to go to counseling? That's not an open-ended question. An open-ended question is somewhat like a mile marker that will help your colleague to see their own story in a slightly different way. So this is a listening exercise. You speak once, you answer the question once, but you listen 4 times, and you have the opportunity to ask a question that could change the trajectory of the life of the person in the circle with you. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all scared? Okay. Just to give you a little advice, the questions get harder. Y'all ready? Okay. Question number 1. Question number 1. Who am I? Now, that seems easy enough, doesn't it? Who am I? But when you begin to unpack that question, you also must ask, who am I not? Who am I when the shades are drawn, and at 3 a.m. I go and I stand in front of my mirror in the sink, and my hair is not done. I got drool on the side of my face, and I am not that person that everybody sees on Facebook. I'm not the picture perfect. I can see the flaws in myself. Who am I? Now, I don't do corny icebreakers at Emory when I start my classes. You all might imagine this, right? We're very engaged. So we do this experiment where we walk to the center of the room, and then one person will stand in the center of the circle, and they will say, from my center to the center of all things, I call myself. Not what does the world call me, because the world can call you all kind of crazy shit. What do I call myself? And I remember there was this one young man. He stood in the center of the circle and he said, this is my first day of graduate school. And my parents kicked me out of the house because I'm gay. And my church said that I am no longer welcome to be a part of this community because they don't believe in who I am as a person. My friends, they all began to excommunicate me, but on this first day of graduate school, from my center to the center of all things, I call myself free. The world can call you all kind of things, mama, daddy, teacher, principal, but what do you call yourself? Who are you? 2 minutes, let's talk. One person, take the courage. Who am I? One person, take the courage. Who am I? One person, 2 minutes, take the courage. Fear less. One person in the circle. They get harder. One person. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I not? Who am I not? What do I call myself? Not what does the world call me, but what do I call myself? What do I call myself? Who am I? Who am I not? Who am I when I walk into the school building? Who am I when I walk home into my family's presence? Who am I when I'm in the department store that's very fancy? Who am I when I'm in a board meeting? Is there integrity in who I am? Do students see me one way than my family does? One person, we gotta take courage. Somebody, please speak your truth. Please speak your truth. One person, just take courage. Step out there. One person. What a journey we can take. We got 30 seconds. Come on, 30 seconds. Come on. One person, just speak your truth. It's okay. Be there with your person. Hold their bird. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shh. Now, just for a few seconds, those of you all who heard that truth, allow a question to bubble up. The person who spoke the truth, you don't answer. You just live into the questions. You give thanks for the fact that these people held your story with truth. with integrity, with respect. Please share your questions now. Share your questions to that person who was fearless enough to offer their truth. Share your questions. 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 Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Person number one, could you please raise your hand? The person who answered question number one, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. The person who answered question number one. Everybody, let's give thanks to person number one.
All right, everyone. I'm going to give you question number 2. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Okori Johnson. I am glad to be here with you because I'm a former teacher and I have lots of friends and colleagues in the room. So this is a special moment for me. But that doesn't make my question any easier for you. And I don't apologize for it because I think these are really powerful questions that may give us really powerful answers. The next question is, why are you here? Why are you here? And I don't mean why are you here in Buckhead at the SRI convention. I mean specifically, why are you here? Perhaps why are you here and not someone else? Why have you taken the path in life that you've taken? What are the things that had to conspire, the things that had to come together, all of the little coincidences and synchronicities in order for you to be who you are? You know, I grew up in Washington, D.C. in the 80s against the backdrop of crack, as did lots of people. However, I had a very strange life. I started playing ice hockey at 4 years old. I went to prep schools. I started playing cello at 7. I got a chance to travel outside the country at 11. And there are just a lot of really strange things that happened for me that didn't happen for my peers in my neighborhood. They didn't happen for my best friend in specific, who was in all respects smarter, faster, stronger, more charismatic than I. But we were on 2 different paths. And as I was graduating from Landon School in Bethesda, getting ready to go off to Morehouse, he was arrested for accessory to first-degree murder. And spent, I'm not sure how many years, but a long time behind bars. And that was really complicated for me because I didn't have any concrete answer why I experienced all of the really powerful preparation that he didn't. I wrestle with that question all the time. What am I supposed to do with all of this preparation and this privilege? Why am I here? Why am I here on this stage today to play for you? Why are you here in that specific group of 5? Why are you in the career that you're in right now? Why are you in the particular phase of life that you're in right now? It's a really important question. I want you to take 2 minutes to answer it. Take 2 minutes to answer it. Someone just speak up, speak into the question.
Maybe this is your question. Why are you here? Why are you here and not somewhere else? Who sacrificed for you to be here? What decisions did you make in your life so that you're here and not somewhere else? Somebody else is somewhere else and they started where you were. Why are you here? The tears are cleansing. The tears are so cleansing. They remind us that being here is a gift. Being here is a privilege. Being here gives us strength. Maybe you don't want to be here, but you are. But you're here. So what are you going to do while you're here? Oh, yes. These are the 5 hardest questions that you will face in life. We got 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Oh, if we could have 2 days, 2 years, 2 decades just to answer this question. Why are you here? Why are you not somewhere else? Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shh. Let that question come. This question could be a guidepost to keep your colleague from going into a dead end. Take this moment seriously. Please share your questions down. Share your questions. Share your questions. Oh, we give you thanks for holding the truths. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, person number 2, please raise your hand. Person number 2, please raise your hand. Oh, thank you, person number 2. Person number 2. All right. Number 3. Good luck. All right. It sounds easy. It sounds easy. What is my gift? What is my gift? Now, I'm not asking you about your talents, right? Because some people have been told you are talented for so long that you have drank the Kool-Aid, right? And so you are wearing the talents that other people have put upon you. And you have disguised your talent as your gift. Right? I was real good in chemistry. I told y'all that. And I took AP chemistry and I got an A. And people said, Greg, you're going to be a physician. You're going to heal our community. And so I went to Emory thinking that I was going to be a medical doctor, and then I got a D- and I recognized this ain't my gift. Right? But what happens when your gifts create problems for other people? Right? Because you teach in a way that doesn't mean you stand behind a lectern. Because when you teach, you feel as if you're actually on a picket line and you're creating spaces for people to see themselves in the world a different way. It's not just from a textbook. Somehow, the way that you see the world through your gift and that you move in your gift creates challenges for other people, but you still are called to wear your gift and not just to put on the cloak of a talent. But sometimes it's too hard to wear that gift. Because it's lonely being put on a pedestal and say, oh, you're different. You think different. You speak different. You teach different. You walk different. You dress different, right? But for some reason, you are here to let your gift be released into the world. I'm not asking about your talent. We're all talented people. But only you in all of history can live out of your gift. What is your gift? Let's go. 2 minutes. What is your gift? What is your gift? What is your gift? I'm not asking about a talent. What is your gift? I'm an artist. That is my gift. What is your gift? Gifts, not talents. Identity, not persona. Transformation, not translucent. What does it feel like to operate out of a gift? Perhaps they told you if you operate out of your gift, you'll be fired. You won't be promoted.
1 minute.
Just do it the way that everybody else does it. You know, you don't have to be so unique. Just be like everybody else. The changes happen when you bury your gift. What happens if you fully utilize that gift? Oh, we only got 20 seconds. Just 20. How do you bring your gift to the table? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shh. Please share your questions now. Share your questions. These questions are so important. If we only had 2 more weeks together. Oh, these questions. Hold the bird. Don't crush the bird. Don't force it to fly. Don't drop the bird. Hold the bird with your questions. Oh, these are the 5 hardest questions we will face in life. Oh, we give you thanks for asking the questions, for moving fearlessly into dialogue. Who are the people that support you as you live into your gift? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Person number 3. Person number 3. Please raise your hand. Person number 3. If you all could see what we see, I mean, this is community building.
Definitely.
Okay? Question number 4.
I think Greg did mention that they get a little harder, right? Okay, so here we go. Question number 4. Okay. How does it feel to be a problem? How does it feel to be a problem? And I think we identify with this, especially because we're here at this conference. Many of us are going to go away to our schools charged with new ideas and new ambition, and we're going to go to places that will look at us and think, I don't really get what you're talking about. And in that situation, you may be a problem. How does it feel to be a problem that even when you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do, that there's somebody out there whose life you're making difficult? When you're making change, when you're advocating for people, when you're seeing people, there are people who are not interested in that change. There are people who want the things to stay the way that they are, and for you to be that person who is pushing and challenging and charging, what does it feel like to be a problem? I actually have the strange experience sometimes of being being the person who went to prep school, the black kid that went to prep school, who turned out okay and was fine. And Corey, if you did it and it was easy, it should be easy for everybody else. Just by being in that space, I still work in that space, I am sometimes a problem for the very people I'm sometimes trying to help. How does it feel to be a problem? Take 2 minutes, think it through. Share the answer.
Take courage now. What a gift it is to answer these questions at this time with these people in this place. What a gift it is to answer these questions at this time in this place with these people. How does it feel to be a problem? W.E.B. Du Bois asked this question. In the souls of black folk, torn between communities, not fully fitting in either. Is there strength in being a problem? Have you found other problem people because you're a problem? We got 40 seconds. Oh man. Is there liberation in problem status? Is there generativity and hope in being a problem? How do you care for problem people? Because you know what it feels like to be a problem. Being a problem creates empathy. These are hard questions. How does it feel? You've been there before. Oh, but we only got 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Some of you all work with problem students and problem administrators and problem parents. How does it feel to be a problem? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please ask your questions now. What a gift it is to be in a room full of problem people. Corey, I like problem people.
I do too, Greg.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Person number 4. Everybody, person number 4, raise your hand. Okay, thank you, person number 4. Now, person number 5, please stand up.
Stand up. Let's see you.
Oh, just stand
Last
up.
person. We got to see you. Person number 5.
Yeah. Now, I'm a Baptist preacher, and they do this at church sometimes. Everybody just stretch your hand out to person number 5. Good luck. Okay. Everybody sit down, please. Sit down, sit down, sit down. We only got a couple more minutes. Question number 5, Corey. Question number 5. If the first question, who am I, is about identity, and the second question, why am I here, is about purpose, and the third question, what is it? What is my gift? Is about how I will operate in the world. And question number 4 is about empathy and how we can relate to other people who are problem people. Question number 5 is about legacy. It's about legacy. This is the question from the interplanetary thinker. He wasn't even born here. He was born on Mars or something. He was Dr. King's teacher, a man by the name of Howard Washington Thurman. And Dr. Thurman asked this question: what must I do to die a good death? What must I do to die a good death? See, Dr. Thurman recognized that a good death is predicated on living a good life. And so when we're working with gang leaders, we ask this question and we say, is a good death a bandana in your coffin and your face on somebody's t-shirt? Is that a good death? But when we're working with corporate leaders, we ask, is a good death when you can transfer commas into your kids' bank account when you never tuck them in to sleep? What is a good death? Last Saturday at this very hour, I was standing in Nashville, Tennessee, delivering my aunt's funeral eulogy. And she lay in the casket before us. And 250 of my family members had come from all over the country just to pay respect to my grandmother. And I thought about my own mortality. And I remembered my dear friend in 10th grade. The same year that we got metal detectors, I remember when my best friend who stood in the middle of a fight and broke up a fight for me when I was in kindergarten and said, you ain't gonna take my cousin's cookies no more. I remember my friend, and I'm thinking about mortality as I'm standing in that pulpit about to deliver that eulogy, and I called to mind my best friend who in 10th grade, there was a fight that broke out at this game, this basketball game, and I saw out of the corner of my eye them ushering him out of the gym, and then later that night I got a call. And they said that there was a fight, and my friend Brandon, he stood between the two people who were fighting, and just like he did when I was in kindergarten trying to keep the guys from stealing my cookies, he put his body in the middle of the violence, and somebody came from behind, they punched him, he fell to the ground, they stood over him, and they shot him. And it was in 10th grade, the same year that we got them damn metal detectors. And so as a 10th grader, I'm thinking about what must I do to die a good death, to live out my gifts. And now as a 40-year-old standing in a pulpit with my aunt in the casket before me, looking out upon my mother and her sisters and her grandkids. And I'm thinking, what must I do to live a good life? To live a life of integrity where I stand up for peace for young kindergartners, and I stand up for peace in 10th grade, and I live a good life and give to my children, and I give to my community, and I give all of my gifts. I am a problem, but I'm still living a good life. What must you do to die a good death? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Oh, what must you do? Yeah, these are extremely hard questions. This is a question of legacy. And we are so grateful that we can think about legacy and we're not on our deathbed. We still have opportunities to create a good life by claiming who we are. By living out our gifts and doing good. By claiming we are here for a purpose. You are here for a purpose. All of us are here for a purpose by facing the problem status, by living a good life. 30 seconds. There's no way you can answer this question in 2 minutes, Chris. There's no way. It's a question that will linger. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shh. Please ask your questions now. These questions are so important. These questions are guideposts for good living. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Person 5, you did it. Everybody give it up for person 5. You went through the gauntlet. Now, so when we do this experiment, the 5 hard questions, we ask the people who have gathered to share your stories, to share their stories, to hold your burden. We want to give them thanks. Now, some people give thanks like this. Thank you, my brother. Some people give thanks like this. Thank you. Some folks give thanks like this. They give hugs. Some folks, y'all stand up. Some stand up, stand up. Some folks give thanks like this. All right? However you choose to give thanks for the person who held your burden. Okay, everybody. Our time is just about up. But we give thanks. We give thanks. Our time is just about up. But listen, everybody. We only got 2 more minutes. Just 2 more minutes, and then we'll be out of your way. I want you all to consider that these questions, as deeply moving as they are individually, what would it look like if a community asked these questions? Now, just imagine that if we were all members of a community. Corey and I had the opportunity of working with 1,100 people in a private school in Atlanta. All of the students in the middle school, all of the students in the high school, all of the students, not the elementary school, but the parents, the board members, the administrators, the teachers. What would it look like if you were in a school and you all went through a process of asking these questions individually, and then you ask the question, who are we? And who are we not? We're not the school down the street. What is our gift? What is our unique gift? What do we bring to this particular moment? You know, not just because of our zip code, but what is the gift in this space when other people only see problems? Why are we here at this particular place, at this particular time? Why are these students gathered in this building with these teachers? Why are we here? And what can we do while we're here? And not just why are we here, How does it feel to be a problem when we begin to think differently? When our students begin to walk differently? When the teachers begin to teach differently? And we become a problem in our city because we are different. How does it feel for us to be a problem? And then finally, this is a hard question. What must we do to die a good death? We will not be here forever. But the work that we do today will benefit our great-grandchildren that are not yet born. What would it look like if we lived from a dream and we walked into it as a good life? Everybody, there is a measuring tape beneath your chair. If you could please grab the measuring tape. Corey, we're 4 minutes over. Sorry, Carrie. Everybody, if you could grab your measuring tape and come to the front of the room. Just grab your measuring tape and come to the front of the room.
Great. Liminal?
Huh? Sure. Come on, Knight. Come on up, my brother. Okay. So, could you switch that slide for us, Chris, to the last one? Okay. Everybody, in your hands, you have a measuring tape courtesy of IKEA. If anybody is on the board of IKEA, we have given out 20,000 of these tapes. But this is a 3-foot measuring tape. And so now we issue to you what we call the 3 feet challenge. But before we issue that challenge, I want you just to hold up the measuring tape. Now I'm going to ask that you would put one edge of that measuring tape on your belly button. Just stick it on your belly button and stretch it out. Now just move the tape around like this. Now you may bump into somebody, right? That's the whole point. You may bump into somebody. So let's hold them back up, everybody. And so this may not be very shocking to you, but I was a strange little boy. And I recall one day sitting on the porch with my auntie, and I said, "Aunt Dottie, what can I do to change the world?" I grew up in the shadows of the Martin Luther King Center. Come on, let's hold them up. I grew up in the shadows of the Martin Luther King Center listening to Outkast. I said, "Aunt Dottie, what can I do to change the world?" And she said, "Baby, I don't know what you can do to change the world, but you can change the 3 feet around you." And so, over the past 4 years, we have issued what we call the 3 feet challenge. And we ask all of our Fearless Dialogues family members to see 3 people that come within your 3 feet of distance. To hear the stories of 3 people that come within your 3 feet orbit. And this may be the person that you see at Starbucks as you're standing in line for your latte. It may be Kanisha at the Target, or maybe at the Safeway, or at your Publix grocery store. And you may look Kanisha in the eye and you say, "Kanisha, it's good to see you." And you hang up your telephone, right? And Kanisha may look back at you and say, "You are the first person that's looked me in my eye and called me by name, and I've been standing here for 7 hours. What does it mean if we change the 3 feet around us?" So for the next 3 days, we're asking you to see 3 people, to hear 3 stories, and then write them on this measuring tape. And I want you all to put these measuring tapes in a place that they might serve as a reminder of your responsibility to create change in 3 feet increments. These measuring tapes by IKEA are hanging over prison beds They're in corporate boardrooms. They're in the back windows of soccer mom cars. What must you do to live a good life? Why? Why facilitate intellectual conversations now when we can change the 3 feet around us? May you find peace on your journey. On behalf of my homeboy Okori and the Fearless Dialogues team, we give thanks that you welcomed us here today.